In this video, I'll show you the 4 steps I take every time I start a new managerial role, and it guarantees me success. Whether I'm in different industries, in person or online, it really doesn't matter. The steps always remain the same. And the beauty of it is, it's not dependent on any onboarding that the company has promised, which, let's be completely honest, almost never happens. Or if the onboarding does end up happening, it ends up leaving me scratching my head and wondering what the hell was all that about. And if you follow these steps, you're also going to find success in your role as a manager and with your team. Welcome to part 1 of this video series, where we're going to be diving deeper into these 4 steps and give you actionable processes that will set up you and your team for success. So step 1, getting to know my team. And this is the most crucial one of all of the steps, since all 3 next steps are actually building up on this one. What do I mean by getting to know my team? Pretty much, I want to know as much as I can about them. How do they operate? How do they do everything, so that we can become a better unit and work better as a team. How do I do this? I take a few actions. The first one is always make sure that I have my weekly one-on-ones with them. And I'm always consistent. I'll never miss these meetings because they're the most important meetings that I'm going to have throughout my whole week. And so when we're having these one-on-ones, I'll make sure that they're talking to a person, so me, not just a manager that needs to get this out of the way and continue with their day. We're talking, we're going in more personal things. I will open up to them as well so that they can see my view of thinking, what my experiences are, and what my personality is. This way, we're actually going to be coming closer and closer together. We're going to be better able to understand each other and then cooperate a lot better than if we didn't know each other. The second action are the weekly meetings. I will always have weekly meetings with the whole team as well. That's non-negotiable, and every single person in the team needs to be there. Now, why are these meetings important? Everybody knows what the agenda for the week is, even for the month or for the quarter, depending on what kind of team meeting is that. Also, this is one meeting that everybody's there and we're focusing on ourselves, on the team. That is super important for the team to start building cohesion. And at the same time, me getting to know them getting to know me, and how all of us operate within the sphere of the team. The third action that I always take is I shadow each team member. So my goal with this is, first, just getting to know them. And we would be spending ideally a day or more together, and me understanding what they do, how they do it, how effective they are. And the reason why this is so important is, besides me getting to know the person, I also get to know how they do their job, what is their currently most effective way of doing it, so that I can understand it, and that I can understand what the processes are around my team and the way they actually do them. So whenever somebody asks me, hey, how is this done, that I can actually tell them, at least in a more generalized sense. I'm never going to be as good as each team member, but at the same time, I need to know what they're doing and what their processes are. So the fourth action that I take is I get my hands dirty. So similar like with the previous task, when I shadow each team member, with this one, I go one step further and I actually do the tasks that my team does. I will not go and do all of the tasks, of course. So if a team member needs to populate an Excel sheet and stuff like that, no, I will not do that. But I will do the most critical tasks that that team member has, so that first, I understand how they're done. I can do them. If they're sick, nobody else can cover for them. I'm going to go and do that task and actually cover for them. And then the second one is also, it's going to give me a more broader view of what my team does, so that nobody is actually going to be able to tell me, hey, what, this thing is not possible. We cannot do it this way. Well, what you're talking about, I understand it. I know what my team can or cannot do. So nobody can pretty much tell me, oh, you have no idea what you're talking about, Blash, or I know better than you, because I've already done these tasks. And then the other part with getting my hands dirty is I let the team teach me. They're the subject matter expert on it, and I'm not. What that does is it shows that I'm willing to listen to them. I'm willing to learn new things, and I'm not just a stuck-up manager that's going to be in his office dominating my whole team. So the fifth action that I take, and this is not specifically an action, but a range of opportunities and talks that I can have with my team. So are pretty much unscripted talks. So, hey, I go to the bathroom, we bump up there, we just have a small chat. I go for a coffee, I take a coffee during my break, or we're in the kitchen, common rooms. It doesn't really matter. And these unscripted talks are just like such a high added value to the other four, which are more formal, that it really brings an amazing wholesomeness to getting to know my team. Moving on to step number 2. And this one is the hardest one to follow. It is observe for the first 2-3 weeks. And I mean only observe. And that's the hardest one for me to follow. It's because it legitimately screams inaction. I'm a manager, I'm a leader, I want to do things, but I always refrain myself from doing it, at least at the beginning. And here are the reasons why. First, I want to observe how my team is doing and how they were doing their tasks before, how they were interacting with each other. So I want to observe their business as usual. I don't make decisions. If I have to make a decision, I will always defer to my team for any of those decisions, and I will follow their advice. What I do within these 2-3 weeks is I do facilitate meetings. When I was talking before, is we have one-on-one meetings, team meetings. I will be the ones that I'm going to facilitate them. I'm not going to make decisions, but I'm going to make sure that we conduct them, they're productive, and that we get the most out of them as possible. The other thing about just observing for the first 2-3 weeks is I don't rush it, right? I will know when it's time for me to start making decisions. The reason why I don't want to rush it is because this is part of my onboarding. I'm onboarding myself. I'm getting to know the team. I have time now. Nobody expects me to deliver within the first few weeks. If I do, that's perfect. But if I don't, nobody's going to take it against me. So remember when I said before that most of the companies are going to tell you, hey, we're going to have an amazing onboarding and we're going to give you this and this and this and this and this and this and this, right? And most of the time they never do. They give you either a overall onboarding, which if you're a manager usually doesn't help you, or they just tell you, hey, we're going to do this, and then they just shove you a bunch of paperwork, and that's pretty much it. And most likely your managers, your higher managers, don't have the time, and they're like, yeah, you're going to figure it out. You're a manager, of course, so we expect you to actually figure it out. Okay, moving on to the next step, which is I build trust and safety, and I do them from day one. How do I do this? As soon as I come in and as soon as I become manager on day one, I trust my team immediately. They're there for a reason. I trust them. I trust them that they're going to do their job, that they're going to have my back, and that they're going to make sure that we're all going to succeed. But on the flip side, I need to earn their trust. When I take over a new team, I don't expect them to trust me because they don't know me. And I need to earn it. It's not going to happen on day one, week 2, week 3. It's a long-term game, and it's going to take weeks and most likely months until the team fully trusts me and feels safe around me. And also another thing that I'm really cognizant about is that I can be building trust and safety for months on end, but then I can ruin them within a single day. If you take anything from this part is you're building trust and safety for months, but you can ruin them within a day. When you ruin them, you will never get them back. Your team's never going to trust you, and they're never going to have your back. They're going to do what they need to do, but that's pretty much it. So step number 4 is I always have open communication. If my team knows that I share everything with them, they're going to be more relaxed. They're going to be more confident, and they're going to be happier. They're certain that I'm not going to be there just to promote myself and not them. The next action that I always take is I have an open door policy. Everybody can talk to me. It doesn't really matter. People can go up to me and talk. Hey, you want to grab a coffee? Of course, I'd love to. I always prioritize these conversations than anything else. One of the most important things with having open communication is also having confidential communication. When I'm talking with my team, whether it's one-on-one team meetings, everything that we're going to be saying there is going to be confidential. I will never disclose it to any outside party. Every single one of my team members knows that they can come to me. We can talk one-on-one, even in a coffee chat, and I will never disclose what we were talking about to anybody else. And this is, again, when we're going back to step 3, how I build trust and safety that people are going to be opening to me. And I'm going to be opening up to them as well. So these are the 4 steps that I always take when I get to a new team and or I get a new position. And before we go, I want to end with these three things. It's up to you to make sure the team succeeds, not the other way around. You need to make sure that they have all of the resources to do their job and succeed. Enjoy the ride. It's exciting and fulfilling. And check out this video for a more in-depth look at how to get to know your team.